Okay, my friends, another shocker. After looking at my other video I just did the other day about the pyramids and these cavities that they have found and these support structures they put in, I went back and I was digging around. You see this red here? This literally was where artery blood was coming in here, and that's why they had to buttress this up, because the vein, the artery itself, drained out. There's still some reddish looking stuff here. That's the color of blood, of artery blood. And that's why they had to prop up these areas. Let me show you a little closer on this one. I just wanted to be sure you understand the red is because of, there was an artery here. And they had to, they had to keep it from collapsing into where the artery voided out. Arteries drain themselves right out. Okay, I just don't want you to miss this. Remember this pink looking stuff? That's where the artery blood is flowing out. This is the cave-in up here. That was going to cave in. So they buttressed it up underneath by putting some kind of post underneath it so that it wouldn't collapse. All of this dark stuff here, that's blood. This pink here, I don't know if you can see it in that picture, but I have other shots that do show it. And this also shows the slabs that they used down in Peru and Bolivia and all those places. Same stuff. So it was all, I don't know if this was here before they put this on, or it was all part of the same flood event. These things died at the same time, these things died, and they took these tendons and overlaid the pyramids so it wouldn't, just to make it look good. I don't know. They were very good artisans. This is just hard to understand how they, the time frame and so forth. I'm not certain of. I don't know. But was this here, and then the flood and all the creatures died, and then they used some of this to build over the top of the corpse that was the earth. This I don't know. I really don't know. But I can tell you one thing for sure. That right there was where it was collapsing, and this was a vein, an artery. And the same thing in the other pyramids. They put in those chevrons sticking this way and this way. This one they just stick something straight up. But they all have blood vessels, as you will see. Alright, I told you we're going to get to a deep dive here. Now, what does that mean? I showed you these blocks, or I will show you, that have the tabs on them. They're the molded, same identical color as the ones down in South America. Same identical tabs here and there. Very desirable material. What is this? What is this? What is this blackish looking stuff? And what is this? Look, almost like red coming out of here. That appears to be some kind of damage spot. And this is not natural. That appears to be something that's filling this void. Let's look at that void a little closer. Alright, take a good long look at this, what you see. You got this pink looking color here. You got this blocky looking thing up here. Up above, it's caving in basically. Now why would it cave in? Well, I can tell you why it would. But this right here, these colorations, I would love to be able to be up close and examine those. I don't know if they let you do that. Probably not, but if you had a little drone, you could go right up in there and look at it close enough. That's all we need, is somebody with a very, I don't think they're expensive. And we could see this. That's all you need to do, is see it. I don't need to move anything, chop anything up, cut anything, put any acid on anything. We might want to do some of that stuff. I do like doing that stuff, but it's not absolutely necessary. And you could see, these are not perfect blocks. It was some form of biology. Was it something like this? And this was one of these damaged spots? I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is a dragon scale. And when they be on the side of the dragon, I would think I don't know, you know, but I can show you there was blood here and there was blood over here. I'm going to put it in the sand. You won't even know the difference from this and a pyramid. I'm telling you. Wait till you see this. All right, so don't forget, this we got to look at closely. But I can't do it from here. I need somebody on the ground. That's why I want to partner up with some tour group people. All I want to do, have them do, is just send me some pictures. I don't care. I don't want any money or anything. And maybe some of my people, or you guys, not my people, you know, you people, would want to go there and ask questions, or on-site questions, with little cameras and stuff. Because all you got to do is walk up and look at it. You take your little camera, you go up to it, you put it on there, and you look at it, and you say, ooh, look at that. Right? That's better than just walking around looking at it from the thing and say, ooh, wow, you know, I'm lost. Because nobody knows anything about it now. Nobody is even close to the truth that I can find. And I've really been trying. And again, I'm going to try to get a hold of the people that are making these videos about tours and so forth in all over Africa and all over the world. Because the world is all the same. It's all creatures. There's nobody different than anybody else. They're different creatures. And I think this was, it seems to me there's a whole series of dragon scales. Some of them bigger than other ones. But they all have blood on them. That's the whole key. And we're going to I'm going to get the microscope cooking here. And we're going to be looking at these blood supplies, how they run through, and where they were. And they almost line up exactly like the scales that are here. We'll look and see. I think there's another, we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it, but I'm going to bury it in the sand, and when you look at it, you're going to think it's a pyramid. Okay, my friends, this is going to be fun. You're going to have a good time, trust me. What are we looking at here? This is the Great Pyramid, and they found a new chamber behind here. Never knew it was there before. 5 years ago or so, and now they've done the research on it. And now I want to discuss their research. Now, I know that they were using geopolymers. I have seen this, I'm almost 100% certain, and I'm going to show you what a geopolymer is. And I know they were using them because I have some of them, a lot of them. I'll show you in a second. This was made of geopolymers, and they come right to here. You see? They don't go all the way down into the thing. They put them up in there, and then they put something to keep them together so that the weight would force them into each other, and then it can't collapse. Why would they put them here? They were saying, well, they want to do it to protect something. Well, I know what they want to protect. There was a blood vessel right in here, a big round blood vessel that, well, maybe not perfectly round, but it was a big blood vessel which was collapsing because the red blood runs completely out. It would have been an arterial blood vessel, and I showed in the Cheops pyramid a cavity like this, not with the pyramid, well, not with this in it, but with a support in there, and then red, looked like to me, pinkish blocks coming out. Exactly what you would expect with arterial blood. Now, this would be down below because this is over the top. The other one, the arch went way up, so the blood would have been right down here, and it was. You could see the red blocks. I think I showed it to you, I believe. Alright, so what I really need is somebody on site here to be up here taking close shots of this versus these, because these should have fascia on them. They should have some kind of coating on them, which is fascia, which is like this brown stuff right here. That's fascia. It's on all of these things. You see how they're black in the middle because that was the biology, but they have a membrane around them. They all have that. They all have that. This one here, the membrane's starting to come apart, and that's where the blood supply was on her, and the body tissue's starting to come out. Even Caesar, my goose, the same thing. He's covered with fascia, and this is where his neck and all that stuff would be in here. It's not the same stuff as the fascia. The fascia is the coating that protected and allowed the internal part to turn into stone. And some parts turn into rose quartz. And they could be right in the middle of this, you know, whatever it is. And I think I know what it is. And that could be in the middle, be totally different than everything else around it. And if you look at the top of the pyramid, there's one black stone right in the middle of all the rest of them that are brown. I know why that is too, because that was vein blood, and this would have been artery blood. And there's going to be an area in the section towards the middle of this that's going to feed all of the dragon scale. And this one here has the same thing. The same thing. It's got blood coming out of it. Blood's coming out of here. I believe there's a spot up in here somewhere. That's blood out of here. There's going to be blood service in every single molecule in this dragon scale. And then they use geopolymers to coat all the defects. Because there was a lot of defects. They weren't just drilling holes here and there just to have a good time. There was a lot of defects in here because of the voids where blood ran through it. And they get big in something like that. They were very, very big. We're going to see these in a microscope quite shortly. And this is the Slurpee, which would allow that scale. You see that blobby stuff there? Again, we'll look at that in the microscope. That's the stuff that would have allowed it to slide back and forth. This is the flap, and that's that little hinge, you see? Again, we'll look at it in a microscope, but you probably can see that little dot right there. That's where it attached. Just like this, and that hinge right here would have allowed this scale to sort of float around, and that Slurpee would have let it slide back and forth and still stay attached. Alright, so there's probably going to be a blood supply in there somewhere we could find. Maybe, maybe not. We go and take a look. See what we see. Who knows what's going on there? Could these have been what the base of the pyramids were? Who knows? I'm going to show you, I can almost make it look like it's quite likely that's it. Alright, what I was just showing you was this little assembly here. This is part of the thing being go up and down. Another scale would have laid right on top of there. This is the tab that locked it into place. Got a little bump there, and this whole thing here is the latch. This wrinkle here was so this thing could drift around a little bit. And underneath here, this is the Slurpee. Right here, that's the Slurpee. I'll show you that in the microscope, but that's all slimy stuff. And there's a blood vessel here. We'll look in the microscope as well. And then there's one, this one here. This is the main one. Again, we'll look at it in the microscope. And then this one over here. All blood vessels to service this dragon scale. I don't know how big this thing was. It had to be pretty good size. Alright, let's put it under the microscope and see what we find. Alright, this is that dragon scale. This is the bottom, and these are two bloody spots. Oops. This one here, down at the bottom, there's actually, the hole is right there. This is where the blood comes out. There's another one up there that it runs over to, which is also red. It's got to dry up a smidge. That's the problem. You got to catch them right at the right dryness, and then you can see everything real well. You see it up here? How red that is? See how red? That's your artery blood. Oh man. See all the layers in here? That's, as far as I'm concerned, it could be like the pyramid. I don't know. But that's artery. This is artery over here. And these different little layering is just, that's just the way the biology in this particular case works. It's layered. And it'll be blocky too. The layers are not just flat layers with no blockiness to them. I think I've shown that in a number of cases. But you see how as it keeps drying up and drying up, you can see more and more details. And then all of a sudden it'll just get brown. There'll be nothing there. See all, like the yellow, the red, black, it all plays in. Those are the colors of blood. Those are the transitions of blood moving from the heavily oxygenated blood to their semi-deoxygenated blood to the completely black used blood. You see how it's just turning brown now? Alright, see, here's one of the corners coming down of the dragon scale. This is the blood coming out. I'm going to get a little more light on it coming over this way. You see it? There's a cavity going in there, exactly like as in the pyramids. And they're going to collapse. So they put these chevrons in, or whatever they did, and then they put a little more geopolymer in right here, so that the chevrons had nowhere to go. The weight coming down was completely supported. And then they had that excavation under there. That's that tunnel that they found right after that chevron. There's more blood coming out of here. No. I'm going to hit that with a taste of water, because that's not even watered yet. Boom, look at that. I'm telling you, the blood sucks it right up. Now, you saw that was a hole. This is the corner of the scale. That goes over the edge. This right here is the blood. Now, as it dries up, you start to see more or less of the detail. But look at how much you really, it's hard to see everything until you really dig around with the light. Right? We know that that's a cavity. We saw that. There's no question about that. That is a cavity. And that is blood, and that's just the way it is. Now, I could probably get a catalase reaction out of that. No, I'm not going to bother. But anyway, this is this what the pyramid was made out of? These blocks? Or from a different creature, or from some other body part? I have no idea. But they certainly fit this bill. Now, when I show you down here below, you see that hole right there? That's that hole right there, basically. That's right at the bottom. I'm going to show you when I put it in the sand, you won't notice any difference. You see that hole right there? That's that hole right there. And that hole right there goes down. It goes down below, and so does mine. I'll show you. Alright, this is just too cool. This right here is that hole, right there. That runs down, and so does this one. It runs down to underneath here where the blood comes over here. This is blood. That's blood. It runs down. This would have been submerged, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it just look exactly like it does in the desert. And that runs down to that blood supply down here. Now, they're showing other little lines going up there. I'm sure there are. Everything has to be supplied with blood. There's no question about that. So that's not even a mystery. Now, can I make this look just like that? Can I make that look just like this here? I think I can. Alright, so, I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but it ain't too bad. That's where that passage is. Right there. Going down. The blood is on the other side. This is the pyramid. The blood is down underneath, and so is it on this one. It's, you know, very, very close. this goes down just like this one. This thing sweeps under here. That's how the dragon scales go. The blood runs down to the bottom to service the next one below, it looks like to me. That's how mine looks like. Now you see it? That's not too far off. Now we know they use geopolymers. Well, I'm pretty sure of this. And again, we don't know anything. All I know is I need people to go out and do some on-site investigation. Get the information, show me what you got for pictures and so forth. Right up close, right next to it. I need to know what the fabric of the stone is. What kind of stone it is. All right, even like this right here. You look at that and you say, what is that? That's just a stone. It's just a rock. No, it isn't. I know exactly what this is. That's a big toe. And you say, oh, Roger, how could you know it's a big toe? Because that's the guy's callus right there. That's the callus of his big toe. Right there. This is there's an artery and a vein. And I put a little water on there and you'll see it. Hold on. One of them will be red and one will be black. Only takes a second. This one turned into like a special condition. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. But one of them's red and one of them's black. That's the red one. That's the black side. See the red one? Black one. And this guy died with his toe this way. And you know how I know that? Because this is the blood that ran out. That's all blood. All of those little crystals. Hold on. Crystals, metals, they're all in the blood. That's all blood. That's the blood that ran out. And they run right out of the toes. Out of the red side of the toes. The blacks don't run out. There was some gold in here, right in that spot. It was a major spot where it leaked out. I don't know if you can see the red and the black, but he died in this condition right here. All right, and that's the one that goes up to your next toe, and this is the callus. So it's a big toe. But see, here's the point. Anything can turn into anything. That was a toe. And it's like all kind of crazy looking materials in there. It's just what happens. It depends on where it was. This is a fingertip. See that? That's a fingertip. And you say, well, what is that thing bump sticking off the end? That is the red blood. This one died like this. The red blood ran out, and the bottom is all coated with those minerals again. Hold on. You see it? These are all the minerals. And now they're crystals. It depends on the condition that the thing was in when it died, where it was. But this is the artery side. That'll be the red blood will be running down from this side. The black blood runs down this side. And there's a ton of different blood vessels and arteries and so forth and veins on these fingertips and fingers and toes. That's your terminals of your blood supply system, is your tips of your fingers and toes. And that's where all gems come from. That's a garnet. Or amethyst, or I don't know what the hell it is. It's some kind of crystal. I don't know if you can see any of this. But anyway, that's you're going to find fingers and toes everywhere. Everybody had, well, not everybody, but most everybody had 10 of each. 10 fingers, 10 toes. No toes, they had the toes built in. But anyway, so we've seen the dragon scale, we've seen all kinds of stuff, we've seen all the blood vessels running here. This, as far as I'm concerned, is the plumbing of a dragon scale. It has the same blood system in this one as it does in that one. We're going to screw around here a little more with things, but I don't know how much more I can show you to support my side of the fact that I think it's a dragon scale. I think this is a dragon scale. And well, let me show you what muscle looks like. I don't think this is the same though. So I don't know, this might have been made out of something else, but it sure has the look of a dragon scale. The blood supply is exactly in the right place. You know, it looks like a pyramid to me. So who knows? Everything's up in the air at the moment.